Hi, we're joined here with Varun from Singlife. So Varun, I have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. So in what ways can insurers prepare for the evolving expectations of the next generation of customers?
The next generation of customers do not like pre-packaged stuff. They are used to having a Netflix or a Spotify which is personalized, bespoke for them. They are used to the fact they make choices. So insurer needs to give packages and ability for people to pick the right modules for them and use the basic building blocks, but to create a unique experience from that. It's not about changing every product, but to give the products in a way that they can create their own experiences for their own unique needs, which will keep evolving.
Definitely. It does sound that there's quite a lot of thought as well that goes into all these things. I also do want to ask, what new types of risks should insurers be preparing for as the world changes?
As the world changes, there's a lot of risks which come with a lot of interventions. So I'll give you a very simple example. You would have heard of weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, Monjaro. So there is an opportunity that it can reduce obesity for people, which can reduce onset of certain diseases or stuff related to, say, sugar, more weight and everything. There's a risk also. Now people watch out their health a lot less because everybody thinks that they have covers. People say, right, people used to started driving faster when they knew that their cars had better brakes. So as an insurer, you would have to think that, okay, do I use this as an intervention in the critical illness cover? Because critical illness is covering for heart attack. Do I use this as a cover there? I use this as an incentive, or how do I structure this? I'll give you another example. Genetics. People are doing genetic testing, DNA and everything. On one side, it allows you to create specific treatment based on your genes. So one scenario, should your insurance covers include those kind of treatments? But there's the other side. Should you then be able to use the same test at the time of underwriting? So the way I would look at all of these technologies which are coming, they're creating two different categories of opportunities and risks. And we work a lot on these next generation problems of like, okay, how is this gonna matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What are the social and moral issues related to such scenarios? There is not full clarity, for example, amongst all insurers, what should be the treatment of insurance for if a child is getting born naturally versus through artificial reproductive techniques like IVF, IUI, because there are different risk parameters. If as a society you want to support the fertility rates, in theory you should have a lot of support. But because these would normally be higher cases because people went through these processes for a reason. So which is where the way we look at from that perspective is to see there are two sides of this. And as an insurer, you have to look at what's the right balance. There are things you know are right now, things you think may be right in 3 years from now or 5 years from now. But you have to keep abreast. So when we look at to the question of what kind of covers you should look at, I look at it differently. What new tools we have at our disposal. The covers are a factor of what tools are available to be able to intervene or plan for them. What cover comes much later.
Definitely. I think it's always great to speak with you, Varun, because you have a lot of great examples, a lot of good real life cases as well to look into as well. And so I do have one more question for you. So what role will partnerships and ecosystems play in shaping the future of the insurance landscape?
Foundation of insurance was risk pooling. That people would pool risks before like the voyages, trade voyages and stuff. So foundation is risk pooling. Now as an insurer, the important thing is how do you be the two parts. One is the contextual insurance, that you need to be present in the right context. And the second part is the right capabilities. those contexts and capabilities. Insurers, in most cases, will not have all the capabilities. To go back to the earlier example, do I think an insurer would be the best person to administer mental health? Probably no. They would work with providers who are specialized in doing mental health. There is relevant opportunity. Similarly, the newer technology of treatments and stuff I mentioned, insurers would need to work with partners for context because consumers are spending more time in different kind of digital apps, partners, platforms for commerce and stuff. So there is a category of partners who will give you the contextual capabilities where the customer has either trust or intent. And the second part is capabilities. Capabilities to deliver certain type of services, genetic testing or those epigenetics, neural networks, those time. I give you another example of a real problem for now. Young children are facing learning disabilities primarily because of social media like TikTok, Instagram on one side and ChatGPT on other side. Because now they're not thinking as much or exercising their brain as much to solve those school assignments and those problems. And the other side, they're getting that. And that is impacting their mood, their attitude and stuff. You would need a lot of capabilities to be able to address that. This is a real problem which impacts their physical, mental well-being holistically. And you need to solve for capability. The insurer can do the risk pricing, risk pooling and stuff. But to intervene on something like this, you need partners who will be able to adapt, attract and position something for these young people. You cannot just say, here's this, use this. You have to do something. So that context and capability matrix is what we look at.
Definitely. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of things that does happen when in terms of rolling out new initiatives or innovation as well. Thank you so much, Varun, for sharing. And this was Varun from Singlife.
Thank you.